On the plaza this morning is a group of fashion icons. We have Brandon Norwood, the owner of Delaware Fashion Alliance, along with Kurshay Whitaker and Mikhala Haile. Welcome to the plaza, everyone.
Welcome.
All right, so before we go into talking about the Delaware Fashion Alliance, I would like to mention the orange socks, Tomboy Tuesday,
Yes.
right? All right,
Yes.
so Mikhala, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Tomboy Tuesday, and then we'll go down the line.
So Tomboy Tuesday is just a brand I created back in 2019 for
Okay.
all the tomboys, so the girls who love sneakers but love to dress them up, who love to dress them down, and just for the girls and women who want to feel comfortable whenever they step out of the house.
Okay,
Excellent.
I like that concept.
Yes,
That's dope.
All right, and Kurshay Whitaker is a professional stylist.
Yes. So my brand is basically the beauty of Kalan. The quote is connected to the Bible, Genesis 3:21. And I started my brand maybe about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then God has just taken it to different levels.
Nice,
I
nice.
love that. I know that our very own Kaylin Pride, Good Morning Wilmington host, is styled by you. So
ma'am.
you're behind the scenes,
Yes.
but you're very good at what you do.
Thank you, thank you.
And last but not least, Brandon Norwood, Delaware Fashion Alliance. Welcome, Brandon.
Good morning,
Tell
good
us about Delaware Fashion Alliance.
So Delaware Fashion Alliance is kind of like I call it a brand underneath my larger production company.
Okay.
But I just do it just because I kind of got into fashion doing a lot of photography stuff and have the opportunity now through it to kind of spread my wings and be a little bit more artsy about the different things that I have going on. But ultimately it's really just an opportunity to help people in the fashion beauty industry chase their dreams. I feel like I've been put here on this planet to really serve people through the gifts that I have and through the experiences I had professionally and just personally. So I use that as an opportunity to provide maximum collaboration, creating larger events with large numbers of people so that they can kind of walk out some of the things that they desire to do as it relates to their dreams and passions.
So that's great. I'm sitting here, I'm seeing 3 different styles, right?
Right.
I want to know who inspired you all
yeah.
to do what you do and why.
I can say I have an aunt. I call her Aunt Nanny. Everybody knows her, loves her. But her style is very unapologetic. And growing up, I just watched her and how she carried herself as a woman. That's where my inspiration came from.
Okay.
So I could say for me, maybe not, honestly, I was a football jock pretty much all my life and was never really artsy. But I think the thing that kind of drives me into what I do today is kind of my father and my grandfather. My grandfather, Newcastle, Delaware native. He was like the first, I believe, black man to own a gas station in that particular area. And so his entrepreneurship kind of passed on to my father. Then I feel like it's for me, but all that they've done is just always just really serve people. So that's kind of passed on to me.
Okay.
For me, I would just say all the women in my family, as well as all of the women I've encountered who aren't afraid to be themselves and be comfortable within themselves. I get a lot of inspiration from them.
So the Fashion Alliance, what exactly is that? Is that a group of fashion, I don't want to say fashionistas, right?
No.
Fashionistas, a group of designers, fashion gurus. What exactly is it?
So the intent of it all is to really just serve as a hub for all of the people who have desires and aspirations of moving forward in fashion.
Okay.
I consider Delaware Fashion Alliance that resource for any and everybody who has, again, desires. I've worked with people who have their own online boutiques to do pop-up shops, do photo shoots for stylists, do budgeting, help people, again, with more of the gifts that I have to help them chase their passion. So the ultimate goal and hope of it is just for it to be just an opportunity that people can lean on to propel forward.
I like that. I got you.
No, and that makes sense. And I thought that was a very important question because you think, okay, what is, is it something specific? Can anybody be a part of it? Actually, that's a good question. Can anyone be a part of it if they're interested in fashion?
Absolutely. So they generally just will reach out to me and we'll, whether it be an event, activity, and all of those sorts of things, we just plan together to work in certain areas.
Okay.
And because of the network that I'm kind of developing as I go along and do more event activities, it kind of gives a larger, bigger resource space for people who may want to individually pursue different activities, events, and things like that to help their passions grow forward.
I love that. I wish this existed when I was in college because I love the fashion world. But my life.
You look at your outfit. You look
Right, no.
Right. Oh, this old thing. No. But I remember when I was at the University of Delaware, they had a fashion group, but it wasn't. It was just like once a year fashion show, and then that was it. So do you have events and networking events, I guess you would say, all year round, or just one time?
So
one time a year.
Ultimately, that's the intention.
Okay.
Right now, because planning, I have a runway show that's coming actually next weekend.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, I do that annually, pretty much, but it takes about 6 months of planning.
Yes.
And so that very, very time consuming. My ultimate goal is to kind of create the opportunity where that runway show, I have a team of people that can kind of run it themselves, right? Whether it be their creative aspirations, and they kind of put the concept together. I can sit back and help them be a resource where necessary,
Right.
but to really kind of get on the other edge of things, we're helping providing resources. So people who have aspirations of being a designer, be hosting workshops and partnering with local other businesses that may have those opportunities, like a sewing workshop, a modeling workshop, photography workshop. All of these things, again, to teach people the basics of to really get into industry, lower the barriers of entry, to help them really run the race that they desire to have when it comes to pursuing those passions.
I love that. I love that. That's but I feel like that's imperative. You're offering education, resources, an opportunity to connect with one another and help each other grow. I always say there's plenty of room at the top to be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have to take each other down. We can all be successful together and help each other.
And especially in Delaware, I think that's kind of the thing that I really want to show, because I feel like, if we're all completely honest, we come from the creative industry and people who want to do specific things. For a long time now, everybody's had, well, Delaware is a crab in a barrel kind of place, right? That's the mindset that people our age kind of feel when they try to reach out and do different engagements and activities. But I feel like when you actually create value for people and the things that they intend to do, you kind of already have given them reason to work with you. Right. And so for me, if nothing less, for the past 3 years having this show, working with 60 plus people backstage who all volunteer their time, effort, and energy, have shown that it's not necessarily crab in the barrel mentality. We just have to be more intentional about creating value for people, bringing them on and wanting to give a significant part of it so they can feel like they are doing something of value. And yeah.
Listen, it takes a lot to, a live production, the moving pieces. The same thing goes for a fashion show.
Yeah.
There's so many moving pieces. And how long is usually a fashion show? A few minutes, right? Sometimes?
Well, no. So the
This
show
one's a little different.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the fashion show. Tell us all about the event then. Let's go for it.
Typically, if you go to New York City or some of the other places, you see those large brands, right? They'll maybe have a show maybe 20 minutes long, because they're presenting maybe 100 items, 100 models walking down the runway, that 20-minute show. Delaware Fashion Alliance, again, the intention is maximum opportunity for collaboration. So I will have maybe sometimes 5 to 6 different stylists, boutiques, designers present all at one time and place. And so that show would last probably about 2 hours. So we'll bring in an audience, probably anywhere from 100 to 150 people in the audience, probably have about 60 people working backstage to help out. Again, the intention with this is maximum collaboration, so that the people who volunteer their time, give their effort and energy, get their recognition, get the opportunity to work in a setting like this, and have more work experience to put on a resume to say, hey, I've done this sort of thing.
Right. And when is the fashion show?
So the show is next Saturday. We're excited about it.
Location?
It's going to be at the Delaware Contemporary Museum down at
Nice.
Okay, and tickets still available?
No, unfortunately,
Sold
this
out.
morning, this morning.
Never mind.
That is gonna be last
Hey,
week.
Ivan, what are you doing next weekend?
Yeah, unfortunately, the last ticket did sell out this morning.
that's a
VIP
good
tickets
problem.
sold out a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Now, House of Kalan,
Beauty of Kalan.
Beauty of Kalan. I don't know where I'm getting the house
Kalan.
from. Thinking of Pose. Because homeboy was at Sherry Shepherd. What exactly is that?
So the beauty of Kalan, Kalan itself, it means inner beauty. And the
Okay.
beauty of following and loving your inner self is where I came from.
Okay.
So basically, beauty of Kalan is loving yourself, loving who you are, and then I just come in and help you just explore a little bit more. I push you a little bit more, and then we make a masterpiece.
As a stylist.
As a stylist, yes.
Now, how can one hire you?
You can hire me through social media. I am on Instagram, Shay_Dimples_ or at the Beauty of Kalan.
Do you go to people's closets and see what they have, or personal shop for people?
I do it all.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, you're missing out if you're not gonna have her personal shop from you. Like, I've had a joy in this process, seeing her thrifting and all of the stuff that she's put together. It's like pretty really,
I
really nice.
love that. So you know how to create an outfit out of something that maybe someone is getting rid of.
Yeah.
That's
Say
creativity.
yeah, confident.
That is,
That's what I
that's
do.
a gift
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
light work for
You can
her.
see it. You have the vision.
Yeah.
visionary for sure.
We need
That's
a fashion
awesome.
show like here.
Oh.
You would like that, wouldn't you? You would Caleb. Please. I'm all for it. Tomboy.
Yes.
What exactly now? How did you come up with that concept?
So Tomboy Tuesday is just something that I would do every Tuesday on Instagram, and I would do interviews just showcasing other small businesses as well as other female sneakerheads just like myself. And we just
I
talk.
see you rocking them.
Yeah, so
Do
we
we
just
have a sneaker cam? Can we get a sneaker cam on those?
and we would just talk about sneakers, business, and they would just give advice. And it was a hit. And I was like, you know what? After I did my rebrand, Tomboy Tuesday was just the name, and it stuck, and it's been going good ever since then.
So this is all about collaboration.
Yes.
How's it going?
To be completely honest, I mean, like I mentioned, there are a lot of folks who still kind of operate in a space where they feel like Delaware's a crab in a barrel mentality.
Understood,
But I
yeah.
really believe that we're making headway with Delaware Fashion Alliance, and there are a lot of other organizations that are doing different things around the city that are making headway to actually bring the Delaware art scene up. I'm really excited about it to happen in the next couple of years.
I'm excited for it too. Just make sure you guys stay with it.
Yeah,
You know, just keep with it because your generation is different than our generation, right?
Right.
Like you guys got it.
Yeah.
It's right there in front of you. Utilize and stay with it.
Yeah.
What makes it so special? What makes the Delaware Fashion Alliance so special
I think
and different?
what makes it different is well, one, first and foremost, like I believe in doing things to a level of excellence. And so all of the people involved, all of the models and all of those folks, they might specifically say that, well, Brandon is very detail oriented. You know, again, I come from getting started and doing like the New York Fashion Week scene, Baltimore Fashion Week, DC Fashion
Oh,
Week.
so you've done this before?
Yeah, so I used to be, well, I was on more so behind the camera taking
Okay.
photographs. And
Okay.
So I've seen how production run efficiently, effectively. And so first and foremost, the thing I want to do with Delaware Fashion Alliance is make sure that level of quality is up to par. Right, we want to have a top tier experience that everybody can enjoy, as well as the people that I work with, because these people put in their blood, sweat, and tears into their brands, right? And so we want to represent them well as they come and partner with us in the things that we do.
So what's your tenure, 10 years? What does 10 years look like?
So 10 years for me, honestly, the overall goal is to have fashion and beauty be a bigger part of Delaware in itself. Because you look at, you have New York City, again, kind of somewhat of a fashion capital on this region.
Right.
And then you have Washington, D.C., which is kind of a financial capital in this region, if not the world, right? Delaware sits right in between. You have people who travel 4 hours to go from one place to another for fashion and beauty, financial things like that. Why not stop in Delaware and have Delaware be that hub where they can exercise and practice that artistic side and nature of themselves, right? And so Delaware Fashion Alliance, I would love for it to be a hub, Delaware to be a hub, fashion and beauty-wise. We have events, activities going on, partnership with local stores, brands, businesses, the universities, and all those sorts of things. So I really want 10 years from now Delaware to be a hub for fashion and beauty.
And I really hope that happens for you.
Oh,
I
it's
really
going
do.
to.
And you're
It's
doing
going
it.
to.
will.
Yeah, especially
It
when you got
will.
people like this
Right,
kind of, working
yes.
with you. So.
Yes, have you known Kurshay Mikhala?
So I knew Kurshay probably maybe three and a half years now. I just saw her work on Instagram. Was like, yo, I really have to work with her. I really love her style, how out there it is, how unapologetic it is. And then Mikhala, I've seen her sometimes like in passing because we all kind of know a similar network of people.
Yeah.
Seeing some of the work that she does, and she was always about like really jumping on it and moving forward with business. And so I like working with people who are very like, I'm gonna, serious about what they're doing.
Right.
She's definitely that, and I
Nice.
loved her work too. So,
Right. So the show is this Saturday.
yes, this coming Saturday.
What's the theme of the show?
The theme is called Thrifted. That's gonna be the fun part of it all.
Okay.
So Thrifted, of course, as you know, with fashion, we love fashion and all that, but there's also a downside to it, right?
Okay.
Fast fashion in more recent years, probably not recent, but maybe like past 5 to 10 years, has had environmental impacts on our everyday lives. And so those impacts extend themselves through the manufacturing process, through the pollution in water. I think I heard a statistic where it was the fashion textile industry is second to oil as in terms of pollution, right? And so kind of really what we want to do with this show is to highlight there's other options as opposed to always going to buy the clothes that are like you probably will wear once, that are very cheap and inexpensive and all those sorts of things. And that you can actually go to a thrift shop, put your outfits together, wear them again, and kind of reduce the burden on the manufacturing industry to produce more at a very quick scale.
Right.
And so with thrifting, I gave these two as well as 3 others a budget to go shop at these different thrift stores, Philadelphia and the Newcastle, Wilmington area.
Okay.
And they pulled together some collections to kind of represent them. I gave them a prompt to kind of stick to, so that part of the challenge was
that's
fun for them.
interesting.
And then they have these collections that they will eventually put on the runway and showcase their style, their artistic vision for what that lined up with the prompt.
All right, awesome. When does the show start?
It's going to be at 7 p.m.
All right, you have a website so people can check out?
Yeah, well, so the show's not on the website, but my website is defashionalliance.com.
Love it, love it. Thank you all three for coming. Really, really
you.
appreciate you.
Good luck.
All right,
Thank you.
you want to give out your IGs real quick?
Oh, yes.
Me first, okay. Shay_Dimples and at the Beauty of Kalani.
And mine is just de.fashion.alliance.
And mine is Tomboy Tuesday on everything: Facebook, Instagram,
Everything.
YouTube, TikTok.
Everything.
Tomboy Tuesday.
I ain't messing with you. Little socks. No,
We'll
thank
get you
you
some
all.
bigger size.
Yes.
Right?
Really appreciate everything you guys are doing, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for
you.
having us.